If your team keeps asking you the same questions over and over, it's not because they're lazy. It's not because they don't care. And it's not because they're trying to make your day harder. Your team keeps asking you questions because your business is missing clear information. Peace, family. My name is Clive Morrison, and I work with business owners making 6 to 7 figures. They're earning good money. They're growing fast. They're serving people. But with all that success, they're still stuck doing the day-to-day work. And one of the biggest signs they're stuck in this is, why is my team always asking me the same things? Today, I'm going to break down why this happens, what it means, and how you can fix it for good. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand your team in a whole new way. Now, here's the truth. Most business owners never hear. Most entrepreneurs think their staff is the problem. There's no good employees. No one wants to work. People be like, they don't listen. They don't pay attention. I told them already. They're not retaining anything. They should know this by now. But the real problem is not the people. The real problem is the system, or the fact that there isn't one. Your team isn't asking you questions to annoy you. They're asking because they don't know where to find the answers. And that's not their fault. And you've taught them to be their Google, to go find all the answers in you. See, the structure's the fault. If you're the only source of information, you become the system. And that system breaks every day. Now, before we go deeper, if you want to stop being the person who everyone runs to for help, grab my system scorecard in the description. It'll show you exactly what your business is missing in minutes. Now, let me tell you about one owner I worked with. She ran a cleaning company, runs one. And she had a full team, office staff, cleaning crews, manager. On the outside, things looked great. On the inside, she was drowning. Every day is like they forgot something. They didn't have the right equipment. They didn't have the address. And her phone was blowing up from morning to night. Especially at overnight crews, calls, texts, Slacks. She didn't have somebody that was in the middle of that even taking the information. So everything was popping off in her office, right? People were like, hey, what is this? What's next? Where's this job at? Who's assigned to this job? Where's this walkthrough coming from? Right? And it's like, hey, did we get payment? These people still owe us, right? And all these things weren't clear and who was responsible for these things. And she would think that her team wasn't listening. She would repeatedly say these things over and over again. And sometimes she thought they didn't care. And she thought she hired the wrong people. But when we sat down and we looked at her business, the truth was very clear, very simple. Nothing in her business was written down. There was no place to find the right steps. There was no clear instructions. There was no tasks that were due. No one knew who owned what task. And everything lived in her head. Of course, they kept asking. She was the only one who knew everything. She wasn't dealing with a bad team. She was dealing with a bad structure. And guess what? Once we started fixing it, we started documenting her process and gave her team one clear place to find answers, the questions dropped. Now, that's the power of clarity, is when you're able to have everything in one place and you send people to go find it there. Here's the 6 reasons why people keep coming back to you. See, one is they don't know the purpose behind the work. If your team doesn't know why something matters, they won't know how to do it. Purpose creates direction. Without it, people just wander. They're not sure who owns each job. This is a big one. If 3 people kind of own a task, nobody really owns it. Your team can't follow through if roles aren't clear, responsibilities aren't understood. 3, the steps aren't written down. You don't have checklists and you don't have documentation and SOPs. If steps only live in your head, you will always be the teacher, always the explainer, and you'll always be the bottleneck. Your team can't follow what they can't see. They don't know the right timing. Even if they know the task, they know what to do, how to do it. Do they know when it's supposed to happen? Daily, weekly, end of the day, after a sale, before the job. When is this thing supposed to happen? When are you supposed to take these actions? If the timing isn't clear, if you don't have your process in place, everything's going to feel rushed or late. Now, number 5 is no clear instructions. This is one of the biggest gaps I see. Owners expect perfect results, but with no clear instructions. They should already know that. That's not leadership. That causes people to guess. And when guessing happens, it creates mistakes. The last is the way this is what centralizes the whole everything together. There's no home base, no place where information lives. Stuff is spread everywhere. Google Docs, emails, text messages, WhatsApp, random notebooks, verbal conversations, all in memory. Your team shouldn't have to go on a treasure hunt to find out the info they need. You need one home base for everything. And we call this the company brain, the central place where all the important information lives. So people can go and access what they need to find it. Let me show you what this looks like day to day. See, you got to think your team isn't doing this on purpose. They're just working on what they know. You're the leader. See, they want to do good work. They want to be helpful. They want to get things right. But if the information is missing, they will always come back to you. So the reason you're stuck answering questions like, what do I do next? Where do I find this? Who handles that? Hey, they didn't do that. When is this due? Is because the structure is mixed. Once you fix the structure, the questions stop. If you leave things the same, you're going to always be the bottleneck. But let me tell you this, there's some good news. When you give your team clarity, everything changes. Just think about it. They don't need to call you. They don't need to text you. They don't need to chase you down because you're going to let them know, hey, here goes all the information. And when they have all the information and they know where it's at, they'll finally know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it at, and who's responsible, who owns that task. Your whole business becomes faster, smoother, and more predictable. This is how you stop being the firefighter and start being the leader. Now, if you're tired of answering the same questions every single day, if you're tired of being the only person who knows how the business works, and if you're ready for your team to take real ownership, then grab the system scorecard in the description. It'll show you exactly which of these clarity layers you're missing in your business. And when you want help building your system so your business runs without everything dependent on you, book a systems audit call. All right? It's time for your business to grow with clarity, not chaos. Let's build it the right way.